Hello and welcome back to the Invisible Man Show with me, Stephen. I hope you're well. That was a good weekend, wasn't it? Hey, couldn't have gone much better. We'll come on to the City and Burnley game shortly. But as it was such a good weekend, I thought I'd touch on some of the other results. So we might as well start with United. They kicked off first, 12:30. My view for that game was I saw Brentford play Chelsea, and with Chelsea it was an evening kickoff. Weather wasn't great from memory. It's night, and you're thinking a bit tricky at night time going to Brentford. Crowds up for it. But I'm thinking 12:30 Saturday seems a pretty easy time to go there. Brentford, they're not great, are they? And I thoroughly expected United to win, but what do I know? Harry Maguire and his onside trap proved me wrong, didn't they? They're just bad, aren't they? They're just bad. I think they've lost Neville. He was talking about how ridiculous it is that Mason Mount ends up at left back. I don't really think he wants to be in the team. Full stop. To be honest with you, never mind at left back. So that was quite funny. I checked the Gary Neville podcast out if I was you. Just fast forward to the United bit. It's quite funny. And he did a bit on CBS as well on Sunday afternoon. So yeah, well worth checking out. I spent most of yesterday whilst chopping my tree down, listening to United content, and they're not happy, but they don't know which way to turn. If they sack him, they're scared to death that they're going to get Southgate. I think they live in fantasy, to be honest with you, if they think they're going to get Glasner or Iriola at mid-season. I think that's highly unlikely. Both those managers will have their eyes on, I don't know, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, even City maybe, and their national teams. I don't think they're going to waste their time knocking around for a team that's 14th in the league. Now, whilst United are good players, they do seem to damage reputations quite freely. But yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen with them. I think Amarin's finished, isn't it? I think it's curtains. Forget it. He's gone. And talking about sacking him after the 1st of November, because that's when the compensation then rolls into its next category, whatever however you characterise that. So it's going to be lower, but just put the guy out of his misery. I mean, it's quite funny, isn't it? But come on, can't carry on much longer like this. But I must say something about the refs. Far be it from me to be sympathetic to United's cause, but how was that player not sent off for pulling Mbumo down? What did he say? He's not in control. He's going to be a tap in. He doesn't need to be in control. He's got to tap it in, and then someone pulled him out of the way. So I don't really know what's going on there, but it is a straight red card. Should have been an on-field red card. Never mind a VAR review. But then old Fernandez missed it, didn't it? Which is always good to see. You'd put your house on him to win a penalty, wouldn't you? But he's missed a couple recently. So I wonder if that'll change. But yeah, great result for Brentford. Very funny that United got beat again. Not a good day for the ref, though. And that brings us on to the Chelsea game. I watched that match today on Saturday night. Another one. How's that not a red card? I think that, they said on Sky and for the VAR statement that there was no conclusive evidence that Gusto made contact with the player's head. Come on. What are we doing here? I mean, what are we doing? If players go around waving legs in the air, he clearly hit his head. It was clearly a penalty. I mean, Brighton won in the end, so justice was done. But you can't have refs and VARs not giving those types of decisions. And we saw it in the Arsenal game, which I'll go on to shortly. There's just delay after delay after delay for some of the most blindingly obvious challenges or handballs or whatever it is. Everything takes ages. And I'm not one to, I don't like moaning about VAR because everyone moans, and I think everything that is to be said probably has been said already. So I'm probably not offering much value outside of it's just got to be quicker. It's got to be quicker, and it's got to be better. But I think Chelsea are in trouble. I don't rate them at all anyway. I talked to someone on the bus on the way home on the City Match bus. Every time I look at the Chelsea lineup, you wonder where all the money's gone. The goalkeeper's rubbish, should have been replaced this summer. James at right back's an academy player. Tosin Edebiaro, I think, was a free transfer or nominal transfer fee. Yeah, they've paid money on Fofana and Colwell, but they're always injured. Casado, yeah, he's pretty good. And they've got loads of these, might be good, might not be good wingers. Manacho, Paolo Neto, and I think there might be another one. And as for that Georgie player up front, Jesus Christ, he is not a Premier League standard footballer in a million years. So I don't know what they're going to do. The manager will probably get the sack in March or something. But yeah, I don't see them challenging for the league at all. But we'll leave that there. And then Liverpool, they got beat. I come out the ground, and their game was behind due to a medical incident at Sellers Park, and they equalised just as I left the ground. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. You know, they're not going to get another one, are they? Anyway, a guy was chatting to show me his phone, and that Palace had gone 2-1 up, which was great, because I watched it again. I watched that match today when I come home, and I thought that was well deserved of Palace, well deserved the win. Alisson kept Liverpool in it for long periods. Well, has that result been coming? You know, they have been letting a few chances in, and nicking things at the death, but I still can't see past them for the league. I know they're a bit inconsistent from a letting the opposition get chances perspective, but the top of the league, and that's without Wirtz and Isaac doing anything. And I'm working on the basis that they are good players and are going to improve them. So you then think, well, they're not going to get any worse, are they? I mean, that might be a wrong assumption on my part. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming they're going to get better when those two get up to speed, and then they've got goals, haven't they? Which I don't think Arsenal in particular have got. So we'll come on to Arsenal. I mean, fair play to them yesterday. I was hoping Newcastle would win, so I started the game, and I thought Arsenal were the better team. I thought they were easily the better team up until Arsenal got the penalty, and then it was overturned. I think if Arsenal get that penalty given, they score it, and they go and win 4-0, because I thought they were cruising. But like Arsenal often do, they let events get away from them, and they panic, and they get a bit petulant. And how Gabriel didn't get sent off for that punch in the face is beyond me. He definitely made contact with the head, didn't he, Mr. VAR? So let's be consistent. So, but I thought Arsenal did well, really. I thought that header for the second goal was superb. I was disappointed in Newcastle, particularly Anthony Gordon. He was a bit naff, wasn't he? You know he's highly rated by some, but yeah, I don't know when the last time he scored was, but he didn't look particularly confident yesterday. But I think Newcastle will be all right. And yeah, like I said, fair play to Arsenal. He stuck at it. And of course, two set pieces, one at the death. But can we just come on to the Arsenal goal? Arsenal's winner. What was Nick Pope doing? He caught that ball, kicked it forward, a pass that was never on. It was never on. And all game he'd been holding on to it and going down. And for whatever reason, he wanted to be busy and rush. The team lost the ball, got a corner, and then in his excitement, his busyness, whatever it is, to try and make up for his error, he's all over the place. And that leaves Gabriel with a free header in. It's a fair play to well done, Arsenal. But I'm not having this. It was a must-win for Arsenal, and the league was over if they didn't win. I think Neville and Sky are getting a bit carried away. I mean, the clocks haven't even gone back, for goodness' sake, have they? And they're already talking like it's over. So no, there's a long way to go. Yeah, and I accept Sky have a product to sell. Come on, we played 6 matches. I think Liverpool will win the league, but I don't think it's over at the moment, or nor would it have been if Arsenal didn't win either. So yeah, it's a good week overall. Arsenal winning, slight negative, but we can't really hope for much more than United and Liverpool defeat, and then we'll take the rest from there. So on to our game then with Burnley. Starting 11 came out, and I was broadly happy with it. Obviously disappointed that Rodri didn't make it due to injury, but I thought it was a good opportunity for Gonzalez to play, particularly as he played reasonably well in the game against Huddersfield. And we went for Nunes instead of Lewis, which ultimately proved to be fine, didn't it? But I thought that was a decision to be made. But yeah, disappointed with Rodri. But I think these are the sort of things that are going to happen. They always happen for players that are coming back from these serious injuries. He's not getting younger. So, and I'd take him out every chance he got if he's feeling pain or something like that, because I don't think his long-term health, football health, is worth a home game against Burnley. I'm sorry. He's just not. Better safe than sorry. So I'm going to do a little bit differently today. I'm not going to go through all the players. I'm going to break it down into sort of three separate parts. The first 30 minutes or so, I thought we played really well. I thought Foden was at it. I thought Doku was at it. Haaland, a bit quiet, but possibly understandable given the amount of players Burnley had in their box. But it looked like we were playing okay. Nico Gonzalez started well, I thought. I noticed he did a couple of drag backs, 2 or 3 times at least. So yeah, I was very, very impressed with him. And then we score. It's an own goal, but I think Foden would have tapped that in anyway. I thought fair play to Doku again. And, Jeremy, that's the job, isn't it? That's the job, Doku. You play for City. The job is to set up and score goals and affect matches. And he's doing that. He's had a great couple of weeks. Much better than he's shown anything of the previous 2 years in terms of consistency. So the only slight concern is his health, his injury record, because he was in and out a bit last year, wasn't he? He had a bit before. So all these games on the trot, is an injury in the post? Hopefully not. And hopefully that can be managed up until the next international break anyway, when Mamouche will come back and Cherky comes back. So we can then sort of spread out the minutes across 3 or 4 players rather than just relying on him. But yeah, so far so good. Doku, really enjoyed the performance. But then we sort of, and I suppose it's understandable really, took our foot off the gas a little bit, which I'm not surprised at. Burnley at home, we had a busy fortnight. We've got Monaco during the week, we're winning. Let's just take it easy and see how it goes. But when you do that, the other team then get a bit of confidence. And I think that's what happened with Burnley. They seem to think, oh, hello, we might as well try and play a bit here. And they did. And to be fair to them, O'Reilly wasn't great for their goal, knocking it in field. It was taken, but that shouldn't mean goals, should it? And I'm not one to give O'Reilly any stick at all. That's he's only mistaken his last 100 actions he's had for us. So no, I'm not too fussed at that. A deflected goal goes in. But then I didn't think we were in trouble, but it's like, this isn't great, is it? After a great fortnight, are we really going to balls it up at home to Burnley? I didn't think we would. It was for a few moments looking a bit hairy. That's particularly come from the second half. Start the second half again. I think they're on the attack and thinking, oh gosh, not sure about this. But then what happened? The ball came in, good cross from Guardiola. Haaland, superb header down, and Núñez, great finish. Now, I'm not a fan of his at all. From anyone who listens to this channel regularly will know. But fair's fair, isn't it? Great finish, good time for a goal as well. Killed their confidence, didn't it? Immediately, I thought. And then we didn't really look back. Then Oscar Bob comes on. It was an own goal, wasn't it? But nevertheless, good to see him. Good to see him on. But before we get to the next couple of goals, I just want to touch on Savio. Again, a lot of criticism for him for being a bit of a wet. Do you know what? I don't want to. What's what I'm looking for? It looks like he's going to sign a new contract. So he's here at least for the short to medium term. So we're going to have to put up with it. Is there a player in there? He's come back from injury. He's a young lad. Is there a player in there? I keep going back to that assist for Haaland against Arsenal. But it was a long time ago, that. Over 12 months ago, the day Rodri got injured. Now, Rodri's had an ACL injury, recovered, come back, and got injured again. Since the last time, I think Savio played a half-decent game against a Premier League team. I know he played well against Leicester, but they're in the Championship now, aren't they? So, there's definitely work to do there. But I think his role of sort of impact sub, especially when Cherky comes back, Mamouche comes back, etc., will probably suit him a little bit more than the pressure, because he's not impacting games, is he? And if you're a winger for City, you need to impact games. And if Tottenham are looking at that, thinking of bidding in January, the money will be less than they bid during the season, during the pre-season, I think. But I think he's going to stay for a bit. Let's see how it goes over the next 12 months. And there's not a lot else to be said, I don't think. Although I'm sure I'll say my piece again in the coming weeks. So we're 3-1 up, and subs are made, but Haaland stays on, which I thought was a bit curious. But then as I'm watching the game, it looks like he's been told, Earl, just stay on. Don't really do anything. Don't run round a lot. Just stay on and stay alive. And if something comes up, you might grab a couple of goals here. and that's exactly what he did. His first one, excellent, and his second stayed alive from that poor defensive header from the keeper, and then I thought it took one touch too many. Actually, I thought the keeper was going to come out, but the keeper didn't, and it was another good goal. So for his quietest game of the fortnight, he scored 2 and set up 1. So not a bad day at the office for him at all. And it's very, very hard to criticise the team's performance despite it not being up to the standards of the last couple of weeks. But it's never going to be up to the standards of the last couple of weeks, is it? It doesn't have the intensity of a derby match. It doesn't have the quality of Napoli, and we're not away at Arsenal. So it's horses for courses, isn't it? And you got to manage these games. No complaints for me. Very happy with that, particularly with the Champions League coming up on Wednesday and a tricky trip to Brentford on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be again another busy week. So if it can conserve energy whilst winning 5-1, I'm all for it. Talking about the Champions League, Monaco got turned over against Lorient, I think it was, on Saturday. Got beat 3-1. Fatty scored for them. No, the new Messi, who was supposed to be, so he's got a penalty at the death. So they're 3-0 down and got a penalty, making 3-1. So given they've been smashed at Bruges, they're getting beat in the league, albeit they had 10 men for a while, I don't think we should have many problems against Monaco. I won't do a preview of the Monaco game. I'll do a review of it, and then I will maybe marry that up with the preview for the Brentford game. We'll see how the Monaco game goes and if it warrants like a full-length video or not. But I think we'll leave it there. I don't think there's any other topics mainly other than what we've covered. Yeah, very, very good weekend. City won 5-1 without doing too much. United got beat. They're going to sack their manager in a few weeks, which will be good. Let's see who they get. If they get Southgate, even better. But even if they do get Southgate, they'll get Southgate. He can't not do better than this guy, can he? The guy he's awful. He's awful. And when they do sack him, I might get Julian on to have a chat about it again from a United perspective. But I have got a couple of mates United fans. One's a season ticket holder, a business partner. He thinks they should keep him to the end of the season just to see how it goes. Because if you sack him now, you'll never know how it went. You should give it the full length of time. Although another mate said they should have sacked him after the Bilbao game the game in Bilbao against Tottenham, because all they'll do is buy players to suit his system, sack him, and they'll be back where they were with Ten Hag. That scenario looks more likely than keeping him for the full season. I'm happy with either. Put it that way. And Liverpool got beat as well. So it's all looking good, isn't it? It's all looking good. Another 2 wins this week, and we'll be in very healthy shape with our players returning from injury as well. So good. Thanks a lot. If you got this far, thank you. I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and share to friends and whoever else might be mildly interested. So yes, thank you very much, and I'll see you later in the week. Take care.